Well, if you haven't figured it out yet, I'm very stubborn. And I do not want to buy a new diesel heater, and these seem like a pretty basic bit of gear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and pull this apart and see why this motor keeps failing, whether it's rubbing on something or if it's the motor inside, because then I could potentially just buy a new motor and keep the rest, because all the rest of it seems to be working okay. So let's have a bit of fun. Worst case scenario is if I break it, it was going in the bin anyway, so might as well have a play. So there's a bit of a restriction there. I would expect that to spin a lot more freely. I reckon there's something touching. And from what I could tell, you could just pull this out a little bit. I think I found the problem. This gasket sort of deteriorated, and I reckon part of it's broken off and wedged in behind this fan. So I, for the life of me, cannot get this part out. It should just pull apparently, but what I have given a little bit of a gap now, like it was rubbing before. So yeah, if I hold that out of the way, the only part it's touching now from what I can see is this end bit. So that's spinning a lot freer now. So what I might do, I'm going to see if I can find a gasket online. I'll just put this back together for today, but I'll order a gasket online, replace that. But it's spinning a lot more freely now. See if that works. Okay, so if you watched just recently, I pulled that diesel heater apart to try and figure out what was wrong with it, and like the fan, I don't know, it didn't spin too freely. So I managed to find on eBay the whole kit, basically, that just replaces the whole front end of that diesel heater. So that's the internal fan here that blows the air into the combustion chamber, the external section, the motor with its wire, and the air intake. So instead of having to just buy the gaskets and stuff to do it all sort of myself, 50 bucks, you can just get the whole lot, whereas it's like 20 bucks for just these. So I think that's a bit of a win. There were two different sizes, one for a 2 kilowatt and one for the 5 kilowatt, being that ours is the adjustable 1 to 8. I figured it should be the 5, so I'm really hoping I bought the right size. But I'm about to get the diesel heater out and swap this out and fire it up and see if it works. It's pretty straightforward to get the diesel heater out. It's got its air intake, it's got its exhaust, it's got the fuel in, and then there's the wiring next to it, and it's just 4 bolts that go all the way into the bottom of the diesel heater unit itself. They are threaded, so I might get lucky. I might be able to just undo the thread because I can't really get the spanners onto the bolts very well given the way we've drilled the hole. But then that leaves the base plate there because we siliconed that up with like heat resistant silicon and all sorts. That stays, and then the diesel heater part just removes. So I just got to get to 4 either the nuts or just get the threaded bolts that go up through, take them out, and then I can remove it all from the inside. And it's just hose clamps on these bits for the air intake and the exhaust, so just got to nip them off and pull it all apart. Should only take me a couple of minutes hopefully. Alright, so inside, hose clamp, for the air outlet, which I need 2 hands to do. And then there's the big plug at the back here that comes up from the side of the floor. It's just a little push clip and a remove. There you go. There's that plug. That's the plug I just had to undo. So now the whole diesel unit can come out.
This side.
Alright, got my little helper Liam here helping me today. Say hi to the camera.
Hi.
Can you see Liam?
Hi.
Alright. So on the bottom you've got your big rubber sort of grommet. Pull that apart.
So that's what was letting all the air out.
Yeah, this is the bit that we were just undoing underneath. So move that out of the side, undo this, it just screws on. Just like mine's cross-threaded. Well, actually that's a good spot to put the bolts and nuts.
So what's this?
That's the bit that protects the front part. Now, because you've taken off that rubber grommet, this can all come out. Like so.
And then what? Then we're going to take all this apart?
I got to pull this part off. See how the oh, looks like I got the right size. That was lucky. So yeah, Allen key bolts, pull that apart. This can all come off. Oh, sorry, missed a step. Let's get a screwdriver and take the control board off the top.
So what are we doing?
We got to replace this part. So we'll undo this screw on the back.
I can do that. Can I do it, Dad?
You want to get the last of it for me?
Yeah.
That way?
How big is the screw?
Not too big.
This way?
Yep.
Ah.
That's it, you did it.
Oh, I did it.
Yeah, nice and small, wasn't it?
I'm going to cut the cables.
Now all these plugs are, like, they'll only fit in one hole, but just take note of the temp sensor because ours is only a 2-pin part down here, but it's a 3-pin plug. But the cables only go in 2, so just make sure the 2 that have the cables go on the pins. And all the rest of the plugs are pretty straightforward, they only go in one spot. Put that off to the side.
Dad, are we going to cut the cable?
No, I don't need to cut any cables. I need Allen keys.
Then what do you need these for?
Alright, I just got them out in case I need to cut a cable tie, kiddo.
What's a cable tie?
Don't have any here. Oh yeah, these are cable ties. Yeah. Alright, so now we undo these.
Can I practice cutting one of them?
In a minute. Can we do this first? And then I'll let you practice. That's called an Allen key bolt. You remember that little bit I removed from the front? That looks like a little cage?
This thing?
Yep. Do you want to put the Allen key bolts in there? Keep them safe? If I pass them to you, can you put them in there?
Yeah, I can make them stand up.
Sweet.
What can go on me? Why do I need to wash it, Dad?
You know what? I don't actually know the answer to that question, Liam.
You don't?
No, but we could Google it. One of our followers might actually know why they use washers. I think it's just to give it a nice clean surface. Here you go. This is what I think was the problem. See how that gasket sort of just deteriorated? And there's just rubber everywhere in there. Well, I don't know if it's rubber or whatever that material is. But yeah, just to buy the gaskets themselves were going to cost me like 20 bucks. So.
Okay, what's this?
Now, the problem I've got, that's a gasket. Okay, so there's another gasket in there because I've got sent 2 as part of the kit. Can you just shuffle back a little bit, please, kiddo? Yeah, just sit down in there.
Maybe I'll sit up here. Can I hold my weight?
Yes, Lee. But like there was only one in this section, but it looks like the other one is used internal there, but I don't need to touch that one.
I can stay up here.
Yep, that's a good spot for you, kiddo.
Can I have a try?
So this gasket's left a bunch of gunk on this surface, and I know scratching it's probably not great, but I'm just trying to get some of that
Can I have a try?
melted sort of plastic or rubber or whatever. Yeah, you can help me in a second, kiddo. Off of it. Alright, that's come up pretty well. So we'll put the new gasket on.
Yep.
I'm going to assume this is only going to fit one way.
Yep.
Which it does. So, can you just hold that out of the way for a sec, please, then?
Like this?
Yep. And this needs to go this way.
Oh, I tried to do it, Dad.
Yeah, you did a great job, kiddo. Thank you. Alright, now we can just put those Allen key bolts back in. So that gasket has lined up quite nicely. I don't think you're supposed to put any compound or anything on it. I don't know. I'm not a mechanic in any sense of the word. I haven't found any instructions or anything other than some YouTube videos, but it looks like we can just replace this.
Yep.
So can you get the other bolts, please, Liam, and put them in these holes?
Where's the other box?
They're all in this little cage, remember, where you put them?
Yeah, on the screws.
Yeah, screws. You can call them screws if you want to, but they're bolts because they don't have the pointy ends, see? So you put a nut on the end of the bolt. Thank you.
Oh. This way?
Yep. That's it. Come on. That's it. Perfect.
Ah.
Keep going.
Okay, wait, it's not going to find me here. Dad, you took this out. Where did you take it out?
It's the compressor kit. There you go. Diesel heater is now back together. Put it back into here.
Is it all done?
Almost. Just got to put it all back together again.
Can I help?
Yeah, of course.
I can use this?
No, well, you can do the screw up for me. Oh, yeah, it'll probably be easier to put these plugs back in. First, yeah. Now I just got to put it all back in. I had removed the fuse because I actually needed the fuse for something else just recently. I didn't have a spare. I'm like, oh, I'm not using the diesel heater at the moment, so I'll pinch that one because they're an inline fuse rather than a blade fuse. And yeah, I didn't have any spare ones, so I bought some today. So just got to go put the fuse back in. We'll re-prime it, and then we can fire it up and see if it works. That will determine where we go to from here, basically, because it's still very chilly at night without any sort of heating. Okay, heater's back in its place. I put the fuse back in and just flick the switch, so now it has power. Let's turn it on and see what happens. So far so good. So the heater element's just gone off, so it's now ignited and it's starting to ramp up. That fan is so much quieter. I wonder if that other fan was just sort of unbalanced for that long, but we just sort of got used to the noise and didn't really notice, because that is heaps quieter. But anyway, I'll let that run for a while and I'll update you. We're still connected to power for tonight and tomorrow night. We've been using the top one, even though it's not actually been that cold overnight. But I might use the diesel heater over the next 2 nights just to test it before we leave here, because we'll probably stay off grid after this, because we want to save a bit of coin. It's been costing us a bit of a fortune having to connect to power all the time. So yeah, but fingers crossed, we've got this sorted now and we can put our worries of the diesel heater behind us. You can sort of see where it's polished itself there, where that must have been where it was rubbing. The fins all sort of look intact though, so I probably only needed to just pull this out a little bit. Maybe that's all the problem was, but that doesn't it doesn't spin as freely as you would sort of want it to anyway, so maybe that motor is now fried because it was rubbing. I'm going to pull the motor out anyway, and might keep some of these components in. I've got like a spares kit, just in case we ever have problems. At least I've got a couple of spares, because it all weighs next to nothing and I've got the room for it, so I might as well keep it for a little while. See if Clem finds it. She will probably make me throw it out, but I'll keep it for a little while just in case we have problems again in the future. There you go, there's the motor, and yeah, you can feel it's got resistance inside the motor itself. It's probably it kind of looks like some rubber's got in there or something. But yeah, that doesn't sound great at all. Yep, there was just rubber soot in here that I reckon was, yeah, giving it a bit of friction. But yeah, there's just gunk in there and all over these magnets just here. Oh, I might clean it up, keep it as a spare. I don't know if it will work, but now I've cleaned, you know, once I've cleaned it out, it might work okay. Just cleaned it up and put it back together, and it does spin much freer now. There's no sort of rubbing noise anymore. So I think I will keep this as a spare. There's no real harm in having an extra one. So yeah, I might put it all back together, clean up this face, and just have a spare on hand just in case we ever have this problem again. But I sort of know how to fix it now, so we'll see. Just put it all back together, and it spins so freely now. I can hardly hear it rub. I reckon it's still rubbing just a little bit, but yeah, I'm going to keep this as a good spare now, and hopefully we'll never use it, but at least I've got it if it does. Winner. I'll go inside in a second. We'll check on the existing diesel heater, see if it's failed on us. Nice and toasty warm in here. It's been running for 30 minutes, no issue. So I'm going to turn that off, because it was always on, well, not always, but more often than not, it was on its cool down period where it failed, and then it would just be locked up and it wouldn't want to go again, because the fan was up to get rid of all that unburnt fuel that after I've just turned it off. Helps it cool it down. That was where we were having the most issues, so we'll see what it does now, but I think we're on to it. I'll, like I said, I'll run it over the next couple of days, but I think we fixed it. Pretty happy with that. Now I've got a spare as well after cleaning that up. Excuse me. I'll put it in this box and find somewhere to hide it, because I don't think Clem will want me to keep it. I think she'll want me to burn it or chuck it, but I'll keep it as a spare just in case this happens again. At least now I've got spare components, but I am pretty confident. I reckon I could fix it if that happened again. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope that helped you. It definitely will help me watching over this again in the future. But yeah, it's just one of those things, I guess. It's just on the road, things fail, and you sort of become handy if you're too cheap to buy a new one. Alright, see how it goes.